This is just a quick video. I've got to make some triple sec or some QUANTREAU before Christmas basically. So what I've done here is I've got about 2 or 3 blood orange skins dried, plus here I've got 2 orange skins, fresh orange skins that I've peeled and then I've frozen to release the juice and the oils. And here's some more that I've got that I'm just keeping for next time. I've got about 4 cloves, and this here is gin that I have got lemon flowers, and I've soaked the lemon flowers in the gin overnight, and then I've strained out the lemon flowers so that it doesn't get a bitter taste. And this will be getting thrown into the still along with the orange skins and the cloves for the last part of the run. So as you can see here, I've got a vodka run that I'm doing. It hasn't started running yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 4 shots and the heads out of here, and then I'm going to run the hearts to about 75% completed, so about 2.5 litres down here on the measurement. And then for the last litre of alcohol, I'm going to throw in the orange and the spices, and that will come out into a different bottle down here, and that will be the QUANTREAU that I'm going to make up. And I'm going to put some oak, aged oak, in with it that's already been aged, and I'm also going to add a little bit of blood orange juice and maybe a little bit of sugar and some citric acid to bring out the flavours, and maybe a tiny little bit of wine, but I probably won't use it. I don't really want to get it on that spirits kind of angle. I just want to have a light refreshing kind of vodka that's actually got some sort of oak already built into it. So yeah, rather than put the skins in at the heads and then have all the skins flavour come out in the heads, which is most people's complaint when they do distilling, I run the heads, then I pop the top on the still, then I throw the skins in, and then it comes through in the hearts. So that way you don't end up losing most of your flavour in the heads. So it's a little trick you can use. Run your heads first, then put your botanicals in. Oh, and this has also got juniper and gin in it as well, so it's kind of like a tiny bit of gin mixed in with the QUANTREAU, which most people say actually tastes pretty nice anyway. So there we go, give it a go yourself. So I've taken the 4 shots off, and then I've run 175 mils of heads because I want it to go through the heads phase and also the fake floor cleaner kind of phase, and then I'm going to tip it into this bottle here, and then I'm going to carry on running the hearts. So as you can see, we're now at the 2 litre mark, so I'm going to run another 250 mils to about there, and then I'm going to throw the orange skins in, which I've got here, a bit of cardamom, cloves, some crushed pepper, and then I've got skins from blood oranges that are dried, blood oranges that are frozen and fresh. I've got fresh oranges from down the street as well, and then I've got this gin that has got lemon flower flavouring that I made yesterday, and that's all going to get thrown into the still here. And then the last litre I'm going to run as triple sec or QUANTREAU, and then the last 500 mils will be probably the tails and tails transitions, at least that 500 mils. So far I've got 2 litres, that's 4 bottles of vodka, plus I'm going to make 2 bottles of triple sec, or QUANTREAU, or whatever you want to call it. Right, so now the still is now turned off. So we're going to change to a different bottle now. I'm going to put this main brew jug down here on the ground. We're going to change to this bottle here, and then we're going to throw the botanicals in. So you've got to be careful of the steam. Got to be quick about this, because we don't want to be losing alcohol. And I just got this pipe stuck in there. Alright, then you go the botanicals. So I got this. Get the last of it in. Alright, now we're going to put the gin in. In goes the gin. That's got the lemon flower flavour in it. Now quickly put the top back on. I'll get it locked down and covered. So there we go. Oranges in. We'll start running again. And this is basically the same technique as you would use for London Dry, by putting the botanicals in after you've run the heads. Or they'd use a gin basket. And I've got a magnetic gin basket that I can use, which is just a sieve with the handle cut off, and then I put it on the inside with the botanicals in it, and then I just stick some magnets through here and it just holds it in. So it's a pretty good invention, actually. Cheap and doesn't require any locking down. So we'll be running again in about 5 minutes. So here we go, we're running again. And once we get to about 50 mils, I'll give it a try, because obviously you're going to get some very volatile smells of orange coming off at the beginning. So I'll test it after about 50 mils and we'll see what it tastes like. Right, so I'll just give it a wee try now. Oh wow, that tastes like orange, does it? What? Woohoo! Rightio, so I'm doing last cuts now. I have been going for about 4 hours, probably got about another hour to go. I've collected about 500 mils of QUANTREAU, plus this is the third cut that I'm doing. So I'm starting doing my cuts for the tails. So I've got tails number 1, tails number 2, and then tails number 3 will be this one down here. And then I'm just going to keep making cuts all the way to about cut 6 or 7, and then we're going to shut the machine down because it won't give us any more. And then tomorrow we're going to come back and we're going to take the number 1, number 2 maybe, and see how far we can go through the transitions while it still tastes nice. And then once it starts getting to the wet dog kind of transition, well then we just cut those cuts there, and then we can do our mixing tomorrow. So yep, making good time. Rightio, this will be the last transition that I take from the still, because it's coming out so painfully slow, drip by drip now, that is basically, there's nothing left for it to give. I've tested it with a alcohol meter and it is still coming out at 65%. So basically when they tell you to run your still down to 30% or blah blah blah, don't listen to them. Tune your condenser correctly so that it's running cold all the time, and you'll have higher proof alcohol all the time right to the very end. It's not hard. So this is the last transition for the QUANTREAU. Everything has gone absolutely well so far. We've got tails transition 1, which I have orange skin soaking in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then here number 8. And so far none of the alcohol is smelling like a wet dog, or like you know, the normal tails smell. It's very, very faint, and I can only attribute that to the citric acid or something like that that's inside the orange juice that's made it come out so clean. So far we haven't had really any tails smell, which is normal in vodka and things like that. But here I'm doing the last transition because it's painfully slow, and it still doesn't smell like a wet dog. So interesting things, eh? So when this is finished, I will get all of these transitions here, and I'll pick out the best ones, which will be all the way to about here, I reckon. And then we'll blend them together and make QUANTREAU, and then we'll add some oak flavouring and a little bit of sugar and come up with an amazing thing. Well, welcome back. It's the next day, and now I've got the job of making the cuts for the QUANTREAU. Oh heck, so if anyone wants to know about cuts and transitions, this is basically how I describe it. When you first take off the alcohol from your still, you will be getting something called 4 shots, and that's poisonous and dangerous. It's got acetone, acetaldehydes and things like that in it. So you throw that away or keep it like I do, so I use it for fire lighter. This here is the heads, and this is generally the most fruity but also quite sharp coming off. So what I've done is I ran the heads first, and then I threw the botanicals in after the heads, and that way all of the flavour's not lost in this bottle here. Once you've done the heads and you get into the hearts, I've ran 500 mils of hearts just to be on the safe side, and then I started doing my transitions from there at about small increments. So this is tails number 1, and I decided to soak some orange skins in that just because I only needed a little bit of it. And then we've got transition number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So quite a lot of cuts in this one because I wanted to be extra careful about the flavours. So as you go through the cuts, the fruitiest flavours come off in the beginning, and then you got the hearts, and then as you get through the cuts you'll start picking up the things that take longer to boil, like the dried skins and things like that. The fresh skins come off in the beginning and the dried skins come off towards the end, and then as you get towards the end, about tails number 7, 8 and 9 maybe, they actually start smelling a bit cardboardy and wet dog kind of smell. But I was having problems last night because I couldn't pick up any tails at all until about transition number 9, and I have no idea why. Maybe it's the citric acid in there, maybe it's the skins, I don't know, but the tails were coming off awfully clean. So now I've got the job of choosing how far to go into here to mix with this bottle. So this bottle's the hearts, and then I need to go through the transitions, tasting every individual one until I can just start to pick up the dog taste. So what I'll probably do is taste number 1, 3 and then maybe number 7, just to see, get a broader range of where the wet dog smell comes in, and then I will make the cuts up to that number there and put it in here. And then I'm going to add some oak wood tincture that I've made, some medium toast oak tincture to go in here, so it will be orange. It's got a few cloves in the mix here in the distillation, bit of pepper, some cardamom, which you can't really taste but it does add to the flavour. And yeah, so that's my job today, finding out where to make the cuts to make the QUANTREAU. Just in case I failed to mention last night, what I actually did was I ran the hearts all the way through to about 75% completed of the run as vodka, and then I threw the skins into the still, and then I ran the rest of it as QUANTREAU, so that way I don't have an entire batch that's orange flavour, and I can control when the skins go in and how much booze I run towards the end, and that way I don't use a whole run made of orange. Basically it's a good way to cheat. Okie doke, so I have got transition number 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 is starting to get a little bit bitter. Number 7 actually tastes like water, and I need to work out why that is. Maybe I ran the still a little bit too hard, so I'm going to check that. And then they start getting more and more bitter towards the end here, so I'm not going to keep these because it'll make the whole run too bitter. So I'm going to actually keep these and use them to actually make bitters. So that's it. All of these ones go into here. There we go, number 7 that I said tasted like water. I'm just looking at it now and it's 55% alcohol. So basically what's happened is I've blown my palate out on the 78% here, testing them to see which one's going to make the run, and then I've blown my palate out and I can't taste the weaker ones, so I'm just going to keep this one because it's not too bitter, and yeah, so that made the cut too. There, all the transitions are mixed into the bottle and we are sitting at 60%, so that should be about 73, but because of all the mixings and I ran it a bit late during the tails, the proof has dropped, but otherwise it's going good. So we're just going to leave that to chill out for a couple of months or so, you know, before Christmas, and then yeah, bottle it up.